Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Activate Your Wealth show. I'm super excited about today's show. We are going to be speaking with Lisa Barnett. Hello, Lisa.
Hi, Corrina.
Well, I'm really excited to share Lisa with you. First of all, I've known Lisa for a couple of years now. She's been on my summits, and she's actually someone who, personal short story that she helped me find my home that I rented in Sedona, Arizona, back when we got kicked out of Puerto Rico because of the hurricanes, and a mutual friend connected us. And I know I've shared this with you, Lisa. I've always felt this special place in my heart because you really connected me to Sedona, and so many amazing things happened for me there. So,
I
yeah.
forgot. So thanks for reminding me. That's
You're welcome.
very cool.
Yeah. Whenever I think of Sedona, I think of you, and I know you also
Oh,
spend time there and do retreats there, and it's such a special place, isn't it?
yes.
Yeah. So you guys, Lisa Barnett, we're going to go deep in a topic here that I think many of you in our audience will get really excited about, but Akashic Records. She is the founder of the Akashic Knowing School of Wisdom, where she's taught thousands of students worldwide to access their personal soul's wisdom and guidance to transform their life, working directly with their personal Akashic record keepers. I can't wait to hear more about that, because I keep saying this is the year of the soul. So this is juicy for us to go into. She has more than 25 years of experience in spiritual healing. And, she uses simple tools to empower individuals to find greater fulfillment, happiness, abundance, and health. And she helps you to align your soul path so that you can understand your soul contracts and complete your karma and vows. Well, Lisa, that is incredible and exactly what we need at these times. So again, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm really thrilled to be here with you. And it's just, it's always so fun to connect again. And, I wish we could actually be in the same room, but not at this time, right?
Yeah, not at this time. So, to give everyone, this show is going to air really, I think about the same time that we're in this space, but just to let you all know, we are recording right now during the coronavirus pandemic, and I'm locked down in my home here in Puerto Rico. We actually have a 24-hour curfew going on. Lisa says things are okay there, right? Where you are? Where are you located?
Yeah, I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, so we have kind of our own. Really, it's everyone's staying in. It's not official lockdown, but everything that's non-essential is closed, and we're really supposed to stay inside. So
well, I'm curious, and maybe we could get into this because you and I were talking offline a bit about this, but I'd like to ask you some questions about what the Akashic Records might say about Earth and what we're going through right now. But first, what I want to know about from you, Lisa, is how did you get into this work? A lot of people who are listening, they're spiritually conscious entrepreneurs, and they're growing their businesses, they're scaling their businesses. And I would love to hear both your spiritual story of awakening and how you brought this into a business.
It's a bit of a big question, so I'll see if I can kind of keep it down. But the interesting thing for me is that I had really two awakenings in a sense. So when I was 3 years old, I remember trying to really communicate with my mother and looking at my hands and thinking, I'm trapped in a body. Wow. I don't have the words. I'm 3. And I said to her, I want to go back. And of course, poor mom is like, where is back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to go home, because I could literally remember being an etheric soul communicating with ease with these 2 other souls. I have this image of 3 of us just, kind of etherically standing there. So I literally started studying as soon as I was old enough. And I was blessed to be living in California back in this is late 60s, early 70s. I started reading things like Baba Ram Dass, Be Here Now. And Journeys Out of the Body. I was always trying to find a way out of my body. That was Robert Monroe's first book. And I even went on to minor in philosophy in college. So I was very awake as a teenager.
You were being called. You were called at an early age.
I was just very conscious. I came with a plan. Yep. But here's the interesting thing. I had two of my very best soul sister best friends who both died as teenagers.
Oh, wow.
And it was so painful to me because on one hand, I felt like I should be able to save them. I had this feeling that I should know how to make a difference here and heal them. And I didn't at that point. And so I got so angry at God. I just said, you know what? I don't care what I came to do. My friends are gone. However you could let that happen. I've been abandoned. I'm over it. Right? And I literally, it was like energetically imagining that you're going to take your soul purpose and shove it up on a bookshelf and go, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I went on and I said, I'm going to make money. I'm going to travel. I'm going to have fun. And I did exactly that because really at that point, it was like the 80s. And so I'm living in California. It was a wild time. I worked at an ad agency, 3 martini lunches. If any of you have watched Mad Men.
It was happening. It was true.
Yes. And so it was 15 years of that when I got really sick. And then I couldn't really work anymore. I had terrible chronic fatigue. I went to an acupuncturist who said, I can help you heal your body, but I cannot heal your soul. You really need to figure out what your soul is trying to tell you.
Wow. Like, powerful wake up. Powerful wake up. Yeah.
I went to a healer and she looked at me and she said, you're a healer. And I looked at her and I was like, no, I work in advertising, and she was like, oh God,
Yeah. Yeah.
But it hit me and I was like, oh, that's right. I forgot who I was. So from that point forward, I went back to studying energy healing, intuitive reading. And then eventually the Akashic record keepers started to talk to me really loudly. They were, and it took me almost 5 years to figure out who was yelling at me. It was a little crazy. I was a little slow on the uptake, gotta say, kind of dense at that point. But when I realized that I could access the Akashic records and receive this huge information because it was bigger than anything I could receive as an intuitive, psychic, even clairvoyant, clairaudient, I could heal past lives. But when I could go into someone's Akashic record, I was like, wow, okay, that's big. That was huge. It felt so infinite, all about our soul's plan and what we came to do. And of course, I was lucky because this is now, 20 years ago, I had a little healing center locally. I started teaching classes and doing Akashic readings for people. And then as the online came much more online, I went online and started to grow my business that way. So it's been, international for 10, 15 years online.
Yeah. I mean, you have really been through many of the phases of spiritual businesses coming online, right? In terms of having value. And I'm curious what you like when you think about those that are listening to this and are, in the times that we're living in. I've been talking about it as a wealth transfer. We're in the financial soul reset. We're actually who we are as spiritually conscious entrepreneurs is becoming more and more valued. What do you see trending and happening now, or what would be your advice to spiritually conscious entrepreneurs listening about how to grow their businesses, how to expand their services in the world today? What do you see the opportunity being?
Well, absolutely online. And, that to me is kind of the big, blessing is that I am so online, whether it's web calls through Zoom, teaching classes on, Zoom or instant teleseminar. I haven't left my house in years.
I know you said that. No, coronavirus hasn't changed anything for you. Me either. I know. I'm aside from my morning run and my walks with my dog, I spend it
Right,
and going to the beach, weekends I'm out, but yeah, nothing
right.
has changed.
Business
Yeah.
wise, really, it hasn't. So, I just am really recommending people, connect as much as they can,
Hmm.
really through social media, doing Facebook Lives. I have a lot of clients who are starting to do things. They may do more kind of tarot readings,
Yeah.
intuitive channeling, and they're starting to do them more on
Hmm.
something like a Facebook Live, so that they
Yep.
can connect to people who are just getting the inkling that there's more out there than meets the eye. And so
Yep.
all of you spiritual entrepreneurs, allow yourselves to share your gifts at whatever level they're at. So
Yep.
no reason to judge, like, oh, I am not channeling the Akashic Records. I'm
Yeah.
doing tarot readings or intuitive readings or just energy healings. You can do all of that on
Hmm.
Facebook Live, YouTube
Hmm.
videos. All of those things are accessible, to start to build up a bigger
Yeah.
audience online, because we've got a lot of people who are going to be locked down in their houses for the next month.
Exactly. That's the opportunity I see as well. I mean, it's really powerful. And I agree with you. It's like amazing how we can do all of this online and virtually. And we can, I've been saying it's like we're in a worldwide retreat right now. Choose your course, like choose your course. You want to learn about the Akashic Records, you want to do astrology, you want to do yoga, whatever it is, it's available, right? Which is amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, get your little camera out and
And
right,
just
we
start
start
me
making,
doing
yep,
it.
you do
Yeah.
it. You make videos, you can do it live, you can make videos and upload, you can start to push your YouTube channel, send
Hmm.
links out to your friends. If you have it, even a small email list, if you've got 100
Right.
people, 200 people on a list, you can go, I made this video, let me share it with you, right?
That's how
And
I
we start
started. I had
to,
300 people on an email list.
yes,
That
yes,
was it. That's how I started, and then it's grown, it's grown since then. But
right.
so let's talk about the Akashic Records. First of all, for those who don't know what they are, could you just, tell us what they are? And then I have some questions I want to ask you about them.
So, the Akashic Records is the recording of your soul's journey throughout time.
Mm-hmm.
So, everything you have been or done as the infinite wise soul you truly are is recorded in this etheric realm called the
Mm-hmm.
Akashic Record. It is part of divine source energy.
Mm-hmm.
The recordings are in this pure kind of information arm of source, as the
Yep.
record keepers call it.
Yep.
And so just, really uploading the truth and the gifts and the talents and everything you've ever been is recorded and
Mm-hmm.
there for you to access, which is
Yeah.
why I feel it's so transformational and important to access.
That's what I'm thinking. Man, that's so powerful to have. I mean, everyone always says, I want the book, right? Like, what's the book of my life? The book of
Right?
my purpose, right? And there's that joke of like, don't expect it all to be handed to you. But what I'm hearing you say is the Akashic really has quite a lot of detail and information.
Yes.
Now, on this show, we talk about money and how to, heal our relationship with money, activate your relationship with money. So, what I'm curious about from your perspective, having worked with thousands of people on their Akashic Records, how does money come into play in people's relationships with money and how wealthy you are in a particular life stream? How does the record of your soul and your soul's journey influence that?
It does influence it, or it has the recording of it, because usually when I will go into the Akashic Records, and it's kind of one of my favorite Akashic reading
Mm-hmm.
that I like to do, because you can go into your own records, or I go into clients' records and say, what is blocking them from
Yep.
accessing the greater abundance for their life
Okay.
of all kinds. Money is part of it, but when we start to
Yep.
open that abundance, right, we can really expand it
Yeah.
for our health and our joy and everything. But what the record keepers will usually tell me is at least a half a dozen levels and layers that block us.
Okay.
We have
Okay.
childhood conscious memories that we still hold on to. Sometimes that might be that we saw our parents struggling and talking about, you know, how hard it was to make money. We have unconscious beliefs that sometimes come down through our ancestral lineage from our grandparents and great grandparents, through that whole ancestral lineage, energetically, which actually include things like curses. They can be really negative energy that's been thrown at.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be a formal curse, but thrown at like a grandparent over a fight over property, being split between siblings or something. And that energy can block the rest of the ancestral lineage, the rest of the family down. So those are important to clear. We have past life traumas where maybe someone stole our business away from us, and we said, I'm never going to be a business owner again. I never want to do that again. So we have an emotional trauma, which is part of the block. Then we make a vow to never do again. So there's another level. And then we have also past life vows of poverty from when we were spiritual monks or nuns or priests. And we took these vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. So we want to get rid of those, because
I think that's like a worldwide movement that's happening right now, is that kind of clearing, right, of these vows. Because, you know, when I work with spiritual entrepreneurs around money, there's so much heaviness around that. Do you find that, like, the idea of charging for your worth and your value is like taboo?
Right. Well, and I would say what I've realized over all these years is that if you're a spiritual entrepreneur now, the likelihood is that you have done this for possibly hundreds of other lifetimes. Not just this life, not just an accident. Most likely 20, 50, maybe 100 lifetimes where you've been coming with your main soul purpose is being a spiritual teacher, or, you know, some sort of spiritual, you know, bringing spirituality out to the world. So because we've been in these spiritual realms on earth so many times, they've often been related to a religion or some place, monastery, where we have taken some sort of vow, where we believed that it was wrong to charge for our God-given gifts. And that's what these vows are about, saying, I will not take money for the gifts that I've been given. But we're not living in a monastery now. No one is feeding me or housing me or clothing me.
And in fact, we're the solution that the world needs. And we're not meant to be in the monasteries or up on the mountain anymore, because, in fact, you know, if ever there were a time, this is the time when we're meant to be in the masses, creating this shift, offering our services, because we're part of the shift in consciousness the world requires.
Absolutely. It is so important. And so, you know, to me, it's vital that we dump the old vows and get on with it so that we can feel good about our gifts. And then, of course, we have, you know, levels of self-esteem that play into it on top of it. So, you know, it's always many, many, many layers. And the more we kind of work on it, I'm sure with so many of the different tools that you teach, you know, that to your clients, that it's helpful. So you know, it's like, really what I'm hearing to say is, don't give up quickly. Keep stepping further into your own power. Keep taking another baby step. Keep doing another process, whatever it might be. They're like I just said, layer and layer and layer and layer and layer. And it kind of goes away slowly. Every once in a while, we'll get a big poosh, like a huge explosion, and we'll be like, whoa, big shift. But often there's subtle layers, and we really need to know and trust that we're doing our work, we're opening, we're expanding. So,
I'd love to know, what are some of the transformations you've seen, like a story of someone who had, you know, a vow of poverty or a block or limitation, and what was the transformation that you witnessed?
You know, what I notice is that often when I go in and do like a whole hour long session with
Yeah.
somebody just on these blocks,
Yeah.
that they'll go from, you know, being afraid to be seen, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
maybe they've gotten themselves killed, you know, in the old witch trials, those
Yep.
500 years of the
Yep.
Inquisition,
Yep.
to feeling like, oh, I'm safe. I can go and do a Facebook Live. I can get out there and share my gifts. I can talk about who I am. So it's a real shift in their ability to be visible, to
Yep.
send out emails, to start really talking in a deeper way about the truth of the work that they do, and they stop hiding. I've seen really people go from being afraid to talk about it in public to starting something like a podcast,
Yep.
or even just doing a Facebook Live, which is
Yeah.
huge for so many people, right?
It is. It is. So, you know, it's what I talk about as money as truth. So like they can stand in their truth is what I'm hearing you say. And then, you know, this is, I mean, it's so powerful that you are liberating people in this way because, you know, then they're out there able to help others. And before that, it's like they're hoarding this gift, holding it back and not helping the people that they could possibly serve and support, which, you know, again, the world needs this right now. We are, you know, we're living in this time of a wealth transfer, a money transfer. So, okay, another question for you. I was sharing with you before we went online that you know, I believe this is the year of the soul. 2020, you know, 2020 vision, we're like in the Godhead, we're in the God mind, the year of the soul. And what do you see? Whether it's personal readings you've been doing or even looking at and I'm assuming that Mother Earth, Gaia, has Akashic Records too, right?
Yes.
So what do you see when we look at this year and even let's just say the decade, right? Because we're in a new decade. What is this really about for us in terms of soul expression? And you know, just prophesize on that a little bit for us. I'd love to hear.
Sure. So one of the things the record keepers are really wanting to talk about is balance.
Okay.
And they started kind of with that with me back in November, just balance, balance, balance. And so they were really talking about balancing my energy because I'm pretty hyper and I travel a lot and I do a lot. And then I often will exhaust myself and I'll end up sick. And it's like, it's the only way we can get you to stop.
Yeah.
Like, okay. So they are talking balance in your life. But the bigger piece that they're talking about really, which is a huge group soul contract with so many people around the world, is to help rebalance male and female energy, right? It's been so out of balance for thousands and thousands of years, 3,000-4,000 years. It's not about the matriarch taking over. It's about bringing divine feminine, divine masculine into balance.
Yes.
And this is one of the things we're seeing in our country, because what we need to do is bring it to the surface, right? So it can not be, you know, not hidden anymore. And hence our government, right? So we see this really, you know, kind of ancient, old, so out of balance, you know, patriarchy, and all of the things we saw last year with things like the Me Too movement. These are all ways to bring these soul contracts to fruition, to let women step out there, to create, you know, a greater abundance and balance in income for men and women. There's no reason that it shouldn't be completely equal. And then energetically, and starting to see how we've been out of balance. But when you look at that, you know, you can bring that all the way down to the earth, because Gaia herself is a sentient being. The earth herself is a conscious being. And our earth is out of balance. We
Yes.
have, again, in the patriarchal masculine, just go plow through it.
Yeah.
There's an ever-ending supply here. You know, we are in the process of really, you know, wreaking such havoc
Yes.
on the planet. Now, I believe the truth is that she will survive no matter what.
Right. Yep, she does.
And so it
Yeah.
becomes a choice if we as humans would like to also survive and thrive, or destroy ourselves. There's been 5 rounds of humans, I believe, you know, if you can look back through the very long history.
Yeah.
Something will come back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I mean, that's the long view of it. I hear you. And, you know, I do believe we're going to make it.
Yes, I do too.
I can see that. I can see the paradigm shift and going up in frequency, and that we're making the jump, right? But I really appreciate what you're saying around, you know, we're in this group soul contract, and to work out the karma of the imbalance around the male and the female. And it's so clearly being played out. You know, my husband and I just watched the movie Bombshell last night, which was about the Fox News, you know, the newscasters and the staff and everything, and the CEO of Fox, you know, getting outed, and the sexual harassment and everything. And yeah, I mean, this is what we're living now. So it's amazing when we look at it from the perspective of group soul, unified soul consciousness, and that we don't get out of this, right? We don't get out of the work. We need to move through this time to clear it. And I really appreciate that whole perspective.
Right. If it's about us all being very conscious, everyone in every sort of way. So I'm totally not a fatalist. I think everything is great.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I do my own gratitude work every single day, twice a day, in the morning and at night. I just remember all the things I'm grateful for. You know, really, the more time we can spend really deeply in our heart and feeling love and compassion for humanity, for all the people, you know, that we agree with, and all the people that we don't agree with. Send them love, 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 love. Really, this is our greatest chance to wake up and to flip the world into a higher vibration. And so it's a fabulous opportunity. And my feeling is, you know, the more conscious we can be, the more loving we can be, and compassionate and grateful, the easier it is for us every day. And the more we're really drawing all of that to us, right? So when we really think about being magnets, which we are.
Yes,
you know,
yes. Uh-huh.
I love to do, I have some magnet meditations where we can call back all of our energy, because we also leave our energy scattered out. So when we really reclaim our own energy into our body, then we don't have to feel the trauma and the fear and other people's energy. We don't need to. So when we reclaim our own energy and we share and send love and light out, we're really being a beautiful gift to humanity. So we can do that easily, right?
I love that. Yeah. And another thing too, I do this meditation and have taught my clients about reclaiming all of your money through time and space. Being able to do that, and it's powerful. So I just wanted to drop that in there because it's on the same lines. It's a really powerful tool to do that.
I love that. Right? So reclaim your energy, reclaim all of your money.
All the money. I'm thinking of the Akashic record, like your soul, all the money that you've made in all different incarnations. You know, you can put like past, present, and future, and reclaim it all to be with you in this present state. Yeah.
That's one of the things we do. That's one of the great gifts of being in the records too. When we clear all those, you know, money blocks and abundance blocks I was talking about earlier, then I also love to reclaim all of our gifts and talents. So if you want to reclaim, you know, all of your intuitive gifts and your clairvoyance, or I did it when I was writing my first book. I want to
Uh-huh.
reclaim all the talents I've had as an author throughout time.
Perfect.
Right?
For a
So we
project.
can,
Yeah, I get it. That's
yep.
amazing. That's so good. I love that. So, Lisa, what's some final words or advice that you have for spiritually conscious entrepreneurs, and how they can be activating their wealth?
Mm. Well, I think these were some really fabulous, powerful ideas.
Yeah.
So, of course, doing some of these kind of
Mhm.
different, simple tools. But to me, I love to imagine just being in my heart. I like to
Yep.
see the heart as a beautiful, big, golden spinning ball.
Yep.
And we can expand that beautiful, spinning, energetic ball
Mhm.
of you out around the world,
Mm.
connecting to all of your clients and all of the people
Mhm.
that you're here to serve, and
Mhm.
all the people that are here to serve and support you.
Mhm.
So it's really about energetically, in that way, from your heart,
Yep.
connecting to all the people that you're here to be with, to share with, to serve, to be supported
That's
by.
beautiful.
And this can really boost your wealth with
Yep.
such ease and grace.
That's a beautiful visualization. And I was doing that as you were saying it, this beautiful golden sphere of light coming out of my heart and just blanketing it with the planet and all those soul gifts. And so I invite everyone to do that meditation, follow that guidance there, that visualization, and see what happens for you. Well, Lisa, how can people find you if they want to, learn more about your work and get connected with everything you're doing with your School of Akashic Knowing? Share that with us.
Yes, so Akashic Knowing is my main website.
Mm-hmm.
And do you post that? Do you want me to spell
Go
it?
ahead and spell it. Why don't you, we will put that in the description, but might as well just spell it if people are just
Okay,
listening, so they
right,
can.
because people are like, how do you
I
spell
spell
Akashic,
Akashic.
right?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Akashic, AkashickKnowing.com, AkashicKnowing.com. And you can find, I have 2 books on my website. I teach online workshops. I do Akashic record readings over the phone or
Mhm.
on Zoom. So lots of information. And of course, there's information that you can read about to learn more about the Akashic Records at AkashicKnowing.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much. I learned so much. That part where you shared about the group soul contracts and then even just the blocks that are standing in our way and what can happen when we remove those and those vows that we could have taken, and I also heard you talk about like it's it's a continual process, right? We keep clearing, we keep getting awareness, clearing, then stepping into who we really are. And I appreciate that whole perspective. So thank you so much, Lisa.
Oh, thank you for having me on. It's always a joy.
You're welcome. All right, everyone. Well, until our next episode, keep listening, and I will hear and see you all on the next show.